Hello and welcome to DTCC Season 7, Round 6. This time it's another new track for the series, partly because it's a new track in the game, so in GT7. This is Grand Valley Highway number 1. Getting to the business end of the season now. This is the fifth night of the Group 4s and Group 3s. So there's a lot of battles up and down the championship, which we'll try and run through as we go through tonight. But let's start off with the Group 4s. Usual rules for the Group 4s. There was a one-shot qualifying session. One shot being that the drivers have one lap. They all go out together, but they have one lap to set their qualifying time for the grid. The top 5 in qualifying go to the back in reverse order. And the drivers have to choose between mediums and softs. They qualify on one compound and then race on the other. Right, so let's see what the grid shapes up for the first race of the night. So we've got Eduardo in his Ferrari joining us for, I think, the first race, maybe proper race in season 7. So he's in his Ferrari. He was 6th quickest in qualifying. So he is on pole. He's on medium, so he used softs in qualifying. Then second on the grid, slightly different grid walk. We're in cars. This is what Mike can see. Push gently. He's second on the grid. He's on a soft, so he qualified on mediums. And James in his Genesis, he is third. He's also on mediums. Daz in his Nissan is also on mediums. He's 4th. Then Andy in his Audi is in 5th. Good evening to whoever's just joined. Hope you can hear this okay. Stick something in the chat, make sure it's working. So Andy's 5th in the Audi. Then Wayne in his Jag is in 6th. So Andy's on mediums. Wayne is on softs. Now this is quite a hard track for tyres. So we'll see how the tyre deg pans out during this race. This is 8 laps in the Group 4s. Then Carly is a 7th, so last in qualifying. And then we've got the first of the reverse gridders. We've got Alex in 8th in his Lambo. He's on softs. Dan in his Mitsubishi is on softs. He's 9th. Chris in his Aston had a great debut last race at Spa, so he's in his Aston. And then, good evening, James. Hopefully you can hear me right. And then 11th is Little's GP, Chris. He's on mediums. And usually for him, he's got Matt behind him. Matt was fastest in qualifying, so gets the 6 points. And starts 12th. So a big grid tonight. I think one of the, one of the biggest grids we've had. So let's go outside and watch the start. So 8 laps of Grand Valley. You can always tell the parents who've come on a Friday, they've got nothing else to do apart from watch DTCC and look after children. Right, here we go. 8 laps. Nice big grid. Let's see how this shapes up. It's a long run to the first corner. Turn number 1, strictly speaking, is a kink, and turn 2 is a hairpin. So we'll see if they all get through. So Eduardo is on pole, waiting for the lights to go 5 red, then they'll disappear, and away we go. So everyone looks like got a decent start. Looks like the Audi was a little bit slow away, and James has got a phenomenal start up from 3rd. He's up to 1st already. Looks like he's going to take the lead in front of the McLaren. Yes, he does. They all seem to get around okay. There's a little bit on the gravel, but all through. Or there's a bit of pushing and shoving, but everyone looks like they've got through as they come down the hill. Yes, they have. So Dan is away. Andy's dropped down to last. Poor start in the Audi. Doesn't get away from the line well, I don't think, that car. But look at this as they come streaming down the hill. There's a few skirmishes. Who's that? Chris has gone wide. Chris and looks like Wayne have had a little bit of a coming together. Let's go and watch that. What happened there? Let's go on board. Oh, I think we might have to watch that from Little's GP's perspective. So So Little GP is trying to get down the... Oh, just gives Wayne a little bit of a kiss as they come down the hill. And I think Chris is going to do the right thing. Yep, he's doing the right thing. See, that's how we roll in DTCC. If you have a little bit of an accident, just wait for the other driver. And away we go. So great great etiquette there from Chris, but it looks like we've got a change in lead, so let's go back after all that carnage. So it looks like Mike is going to have a go down the inside of James. They come into the second hairpin. He does a nice clean move. Looks like we've got some squabbling behind there as well. So Daz is defending from Eduardo as they come into the... Oh, looks like James is going to look at the inside of the McLaren, but doesn't. It looks like Eduardo's got Daz, but Daz has been pushed wide and Daz into the wall. And he's taken down with him. And about half the grid as well. Andy's back up the 5th. Let's have a watch what happened to Andy. He was 12th down the hill. Now we see the Aston of Chris goes a bit skewy as well. So he manages to get into 8th coming down the hill. And looks like it's a bit of a tap between Carly and Alex. And then that's another place gained by Andy. Then we can see up ahead, Daz goes a little bit, gets a little bit of a tap from Eduardo, gets a bit wide. So Andy all of a sudden, a bit of a wall there, but all of a sudden he's up to 6th. So, as per usual, a chaotic start. It looks like Chris is now past Andy up to 5th. So Chris had a poor start and now it's back up to 5th. So let's see what's going on at the front. Mike in the McLaren, Mike's a tyre whisperer and the McLaren is very good on tyres, so he's on softs. So this is already looking quite good for him. James has had a good start though, and then we've got battles going on behind. It looks like Daz and Andy's dropped back down again. Looks like Matt has got past Andy now. Is he going to make a move on the inside of Daz? Not quite. Let's have a look, watch from. So we've got Andy right behind us and Carly. Let's get out as they go through the chicane for the first time. Now this huge long drag they go through the last couple of turns, which are kinked really. Turns 17, 18 and 19. You see Matt is sucked up right behind Daz. Has gone forward. That's the go from the back of Daz. Bit of PD shuffling from Daz. Mika says, well, he made it even. Good evening. Right, so is Matt going to have a go at passing Daz? Can we go up the hill? Let's go on board with Matt. Is he going to make a move down the inside? No, he thinks better in, but Daz goes a little bit wide. But it doesn't look like Matt's got the momentum, so I don't think there's the wall, but Daz touches the wall. So are they going to go side by side as they go down the hill? It looks like they are. We're ignoring what's going on at the front, but there's a few changes going on. So Matt is up in ahead, and let's see what's going on here. So Eduardo's now made his way up to 2nd. Let's see if we can catch what happened there. No, that happened a while ago. Actually, yeah, just in the turn 2. So James is down to 3rd. We're doing well. Then we've got Alex keeping watching brief in his Lambo. Chris, and what's going on here? So it looks like Dad's having another go back at Matt. Oh, what happened there? Well, that looked like a funny glitch. It did look a funny glitch. Yeah, see, when we were battling on track, I thought that wasn't an issue caused by me. You can see here, there he just jumps sideways. Off he goes, unfortunately. So a little bit of a game glitch there for Daz. He drops down. Carly's back up to 7th, so you can see his positions are changing every single corner almost. So Mike is still leading in the McLaren. Hasn't won a race for a while, I don't think. And so he's beginning to pull a bit of a gap over Eduardo. Eduardo's gone a little bit wide, and you've got James is tucked up behind him. Let's go on board with James. He's going to get runs. They come out of the long turn 13. He's got him. Let's go from the roof cam. And it looks like Alex has got past Eduardo as well. Is Eduardo going to try and go around the outside? Alex tries to go down the inside of the pair of them. Sticks his nose in. And he's gone around the outside. Look at this. It looks like Alex has made his way round, but gives him, look at that. That's nice racing between those two. Eduardo is now right up behind. So Eduardo's now gone past the Genesis, but then hits the wall. So there we go. Great squabble going on for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Of course, this is helping Mike out. Mike is just disappearing. So is Eduardo going to make a move as they go along the straight? The Genesis is pretty quick on the straight, but it looks like the Ferrari, he's got the legs. Ferrari's strong. Is he going to make the move into a T2? Yes, he does. Nicely done by Eduardo. Then Chris is there in 5th, doing a very nice job. Carly's got up to 6th, so what's happened there? Let's see what happened there. That was a long way time ago. Well, looks like there was a bit of contact there, and Matt goes a little bit wide, so Carly's up to 6th. They come through the chicane, and it looks like Matt's on mediums, whereas Carly's on mediums as well. So CMS Racing having a bit of a scrap there. Matt gets shuffled down. He's now got Dan right behind him as they come through the tunnel. Let's go on board with Dan behind the Chevy. Matt is starting to protect the inside. Who's got the grunt? That Mitsubishi's quick. Who's going to brake later for the first, turn 2, the hairpin. Matt's on the inside, but Dan's trying to go around the outside. Has he made it? It looks like he has. I think Matt gives him room as they come. Look at this. So down the hill we go, side by side. Let's go on board with Dan. This is as close as he gets. So Matt just nudges ahead. There's a little bit of a lift there coming down the hill, which is wise. Dan's on softs, whereas the 2 in front of him are on mediums. Can he do anything around the outside? We've got Dan, we've got Andy coming behind. Matt's gone past his teammate, so Matt's back up to, I think, 6th place. Oh, that was a late move. It looks like, again, a little bit of contact. Andy tries to get in the action as well. It's alongside the Porsche, but I don't think he's going to get it unless he hangs it around the outside, which he tries to. And it looks like he's going to try and make a move to the inside of the hairpin. Does, a little bit of contact. And Chris now recovering. He's now back up to 10th after his first lap drama, and Daz has parked it. Probably decided he's had enough of that Nissan for today. So Chris is now up to a 9th, goes past the Porsche. Let's see what's going on ahead. We've got a battle here going on between Eduardo and James still. So James is not being dropped by Eduardo here. And we've got Chris still tracking them in 5th. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. So Mike's on his softs and treating him beautifully, as we can see. Just about a quarter on his left front, which considering this track is pretty hard to tyre, is pretty decent. You can see the comparison. Alex, in a clear second now, is got a lot more wear on his left front. Eduardo's on mediums, doing a good job. He's broken clear of James a little bit, so it looks like James has got Chris launching an attack. Is Chris going to make a move into T2? No, James covers the inside nicely. Chris has to think about another attack. He's on mediums as well, and so is James, but Chris's mediums are looking pretty good. He looks like he's going to try and take a run down the flat out kinks. They're side by side. Look at this. They come down the hill. Look at that racing. Lots of room given by both of them, but a nice move by Chris. Hung it around the outside. So, lovely move by Chris. Chris is proving to be very fast and very clean. That's what we like to see. Right, James is down to 5th. Then we've got Matt in 6th. Matt's just gone purple. His slightly battered looking Chevy. So what can he do about those in front of him? And then what have we got going on behind? So Chris is now up to 8th. He's got past Andy. What can Chris do to recover that unfortunate knock with Wayne down the hill on the first lap? Well, so it's an even all. Hi Matt, enjoy guys. Right, Andy's down to 9th and he's in the tyre shredding Audi. So he's on mediums and starting to chew them up already. Carly's down to 10th. And Wayne is soldiering on in his monster liveried Jag in 11th. So Mike is now clear. He's down 56.073, which is only 300 slower than the fastest lap of Chris in the Mustang. So Mike's having a nice drive out in front. I will check. I don't think he's won a race this season. It's probably a while since he's won one. Let me get the scores and the doors up. Let's have a quick shifty at points. Am I right in saying he's not one? I don't think so. But of all the races, this is always going to be a good one because I say the McLaren is super good on his tyres. Right, so Mike leads then. Down the hill, lap 5. And Alex is in a nice second now, but he's starting to get through his softs, so we'll keep an eye on that. Look at those, that left front soft, he's starting to go. And he's more than halfway through it, and we're only just halfway through the race. So will his tyres hang on? And then Chris has got past. Let's see what happened there. Chris is now lining up Eduardo. They come down the hill. Let's go from the roof cam of the Ferrari. So, oh, tyres, yeah, Eduardo's tyres starting to go and Chris is through. There he goes, just gives a little shake on the dirt, but managed to get it stopped nicely. It looks like both James and Eduardo go a little bit wide, so Eduardo's down to 4th. James is still hanging on nicely in 5th. They're doing 58s. And Matt has just done a 56.4, so Matt is catching these guys up quite quickly. Dan is quicker than anyone, he's just done a 55.8. He's using the rallycross, the rallying heritage of the Mitsubishi to cut as many corners as he can. James saying, is it just his livery on the stream? Yeah, sometimes they don't always show. Yeah, they don't always show. I'll reload the lobby if I notice that next time. Sometimes it does that. So we've got a battle here going on. So Matt is in. Oh, what's this? James is going for Eduardo. Oh, a bit of rubbing his racing there. Looks like Eduardo might have gone a bit deep on there. I don't know if he was helped by James, but as they go through the chicane, Eduardo is defending for all he can. And he's now got James right behind him as they come up the hill. And all the time, Matt is closing in on the pair of them. So James is now looking as they go through the tunnel, through the kinks. Let's go on board. So we got, where's Matt gone? There's Matt. We can see him as they come out of the tunnel into the daylight. Matt is going to make a move. Where's Matt? Can we see them? Oh, Jess is quick down the straight, but here comes the Chevy. So who's going to be braver into turn 1? Oh, Matt looks like he had a bit of a dive there from Eduardo. So Matt muscles his way through. Is he going to let that Ferrari back pass as they go down the hill? Let's have a watch on camera. So Matt is up to 4th. Eduardo's down to 5th. Eduardo does a really late dive, but you see there Matt backed off, so I think that was partly a dive and partly a redress. So Eduardo's back up to 4th, and he's got Matt right behind him, and they've got James. Look at this, we've got a 5-way squabble now for 4th position. Let's still have a quick look at what's going up at front. So Mike is away, and he's still got plenty of life in his tyres. Alex is beginning to run out of these, so his lap times are starting to drop off. Difference. So Chris is starting to catch. He's medium. So here we go. Eduardo defending 4th place. So we've got Eduardo, Matt, Dan, James, Chris, all in the same shot. They come across the tunnel. Eduardo's a little bit slow coming over the bridge. You can see how glorious this track looks. Matt is now got past him. So Eduardo ran a bit wide. Matt is in the lead, but we've got a 3-way squabble going behind. James and Dan have a little bit of a nudge. Chris tries to get in there, doesn't quite make it. Dan is alongside. He's managed to push the Genesis out wide a little bit, so he might get the switchback as they go up the hill. Looks like he has. He's still got the fastest lap. So Dan is now up to a third, up to 6th. Let's see what Chris can see as we go through the tunnel. Lap 6 already. It's alright, James, that standard livery is still quite pretty in the Genesis. Right, Mustang hasn't got much grunt, but is Chris going to make a move as they go into turn 2? Looks like Matt is defending from Eduardo. So status quo. As we come back down the hill. But Eduardo is looking like he's thinking about making a move on Matt as they go through the kinks. Let's have a look at tyre wear. Yeah, Matt's fronts look a fair bit better than Eduardo's. And then we've got his battle. Is there anything? Is James going to make a move on Dan as we go for the pan shot? He does. Look at that. Nicely done, but runs a bit wide. Is that going to let Chris come through? Chris gets one. I think he's going to get the other. Let's have a look as they go into the... Yeah, he does. So that worked out quite nicely for Chris. And James has got a little bit widened down. He's trying to get back to James. I'm not sure if that was a redress or... James has gone from 6th to 8th. Dan has managed to stay where he was. And Chris is up to 6th. Let's keep an eye on this. So it looks like Alex in 2nd. Done a good job to get there, but his tyres are starting to go. And I think he's going to have no left front for the last lap. Chris will be getting excited by that. Chris is still bang on these past his lap pace, whereas he's now nearly a second a lap faster. Matt looks like he's broken clear a bit of Eduardo. What can Eduardo and Chris do? They had a battle in the pre-race at Trial Mountain. Let's see, can Chris get the better of the Ferrari this time? See how glorious this track looks. It's modelled on the Big Sur Coast Highway, and if you actually look, they've modelled it pretty accurately in some places, like all the bridges and stuff are pretty accurate. So whilst it's quite an expansive track, it does look pretty amazing. Right, so Mike is looking serene out front. Alex is not looking quite so serene. There comes Chris down the hill. Matt is in a fairly safe 4th now. And I think this is the battle. It is the battle. Chris is in 6th, Dan in 7th. James is in 8th. Andy in his tyre munching Audi is almost through its mediums. That shows how heavy it is on the tyres. And the Porsche of Carly is not much better. And Wayne is doing a fine job still, going around in 11th. Right, so Mike's about halfway around the lap. Let's see what's going on, and it looks like Eduardo is having a score with Chris. Chris is down the trying to go around the outside, but Eduardo closes the door. That corner is notorious. 7 and 8 double apex, very easy for contact. Looks like Chris is going to make a move down the inside. Oh, that looked a little bit contacty. Is he going to let that one go? That looks a little bit like he stuck his nose in. Let's see, does Eduardo retaliate? His tyres are looking slightly better, slightly worse than Chris's, but I think, let's see if he can come back from that. So Chris is now up to 5th. Eduardo looks like he's knocked the wall. Is that going to give Dan? But up front, oh, we've got a battle going on here. So yeah, as we thought, Chris and where's Mike? Mike's just coming through the tunnel. So Chris is now all over the back of Alex. But I think unless Chris can get a run through the tunnel, his tyres shouldn't affect him, but this is going to be super close. So Mike is coming across the line. We'll just see what's going on here. This is going to be a straight line battle now. Mike comes across the line, gets his first win of the season. A great win from Mike, well done. And in second, looks like Alex is just going to hold on even though his tyres are shot. The straight line speed that Lambo got him to second. A great third from Chris at the podium. 4th is Matt. 5th comes Chris, 6th comes Eduardo, 7th is Dan, 8th is James. Look how close they all were. Then up the hill comes Andy in 9th. He'll probably be pleased to get that one out of the way. He's got no mediums left. That shows you how hard that car is on tyres. And Carly comes in 10th in the Cayman. Here comes Wayne in 11th in the Jaguar. Very nice looking Jaguar it is too. Across the line he comes. There we go. Right, so Group 4 result. Mike gets his first win in the McLaren. Very nicely conducted win that was too. Second is Alex, just about hanging on. Third was Chris, racking up another podium. So Chris is racking up the podium since he's joined the league. 4th is Matt, second in the championship. He's quite a long way behind, but at least he claws a point back on Chris, who finishes 5th. Good comeback, really, considering he was last after the first lap. Eduardo, who's disappeared. Where's Eduardo gone? There we go. He is 6th. Dan is in 7th. James was 8th. Andy 9th. Carly 10th. And Wayne 11th. See him across the line. There he goes. Boom. Right, that was the Group 4s. Group 3s to come, and as per usual, the starting grid, which is a rolling start in the Group 3s, is the reverse finishing order of the Group 4s. Never look to the right because it tells you who won. Right, so this is where the tyre strategies will start to play out. And there's some interesting strategies already being forced on some of the drivers. So because of the way the Season 7 tyre penalties kick in, if you're a regular to season, you might remember that for winning the overall night, so whoever gets best score for the night, so that's the Group 4s and Group 3s plus qualifying and fastest laps and all that good stuff, they have 2 of their allocated softs. They get 8 in total. 2 of those softs get converted to mediums, and whoever finishes second and third on the night, they lose 1 of their softs to a set of mediums. And now, as we're in round 5 of the Group 3 races, so there's only 1 more left, we've got the situation where Chris has actually been running mediums pretty much all through the rounds, apart from last round at Spa, where he went on 2 softs. But he can only run mediums or hard tonight. And the same with Matt. He has no softs left, so he's forced to go double mediums as well, and he's used his hard. So the tyre penalties are now starting to have effect where some of the drivers don't have a free choice of tyres. And it also depends on what the other drivers have done as well throughout the season. So we have the reverse grid. Wayne is on pole in his Jag, and he is on hards, which is interesting. So Wayne is starting the race on hards, so he's trying to get his 1 allocated hard of the season out of the way tonight. Carly is on mediums in the Porsche. Andy in the Audi is also on mediums. James is on mediums in the Genesis. Dan has got a lot to go for softs. Has Dan's livery come out? Let's have a look. Yes, it has. There we go. James's livery has worked. And then Dan is in 5th. You can always tell that the liveries have worked because they've got the DTCC number board. Eduardo in his Ferrari is 6th. Chris Pengelly is 7th. Matt is 8th. Chris in the Aston is 9th. AJ Motorsport, which is Alex, is 10th. 11th is the winner from the Group 4s, Mike, and then Daz didn't finish, but so he starts 12th. Right, let's get going. 18 laps. It's a tyre break at this track. 18 laps around Grand Valley High. Wait, sounds like school. Right, Wayne leads us away. He's on hard, so they're going to take a while to warm up. So he probably won't find much grip as he goes into turn 2, but up the hill we go. It looks like we've got some movement already. Andy's defending from James, but James is trying to go round the outside, which looks quite a nice move. Is he going to get that one done? No, he's not. And then Dan comes down the hill. It looks like Waldo's got away, and he's got Matt. So they're pretty much status quo, I think. Although, yeah. So down the hill they go. Chris is in 8th. Chris Pengelly's dropped down a place, actually. Let's see what's going up. Let's rewind this. It's almost carnage into this hairpin. We go down the hill. Wayne on his hards, done a good job. He's still in the lead, but he's got Carly in the Porsche all over the back of him. And then as we cascade down the hill, so see if Carly can take advantage of the hards of Wayne. No, he can't. So there's a bit of tussle here. Eduardo has gone through into 4th. It looks like let's have a replay. That looks like he gave the cars in front of him a good biff. Let's have a look as we go in car. He tries to get it stopped and just hits the Mitsubishi, who hits into James's Genesis. So, and he's not hanging around either. So Eduardo has bullied his way up to 4th. Then we've got Matt, he's up to 5th. He's got past Dan. So Dan and James definitely lost out in that one. And so, a nice move there by Chris. It looks like Eduardo and Matt having a skirmish as well. Eduardo's getting his elbows out again. So Matt stays in 5th. Chris has now made it up to 6th already. So a good start from, they've been 9th. So he's gained up 3 places. Dan's been muscled down to 7th. Then we've got a battle here. So Chris Pengelly is in a fight with Mike and Alex and Daz. They come into turn 14, the long right hand as they go into the tunnel. And it looks like Mike's been under attack from Alex, but not quite. And then we've got Daz watching as well. And then we've got James has obviously had a bit of a spin. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of carnage up ahead. So Matt has had a bit of a poor run out of the chicane. I think someone obviously went off. So he's now being passed by Chris and Dan as they go through the tunnel. And Carly has got up to third. So look at this squabble as they go up the hill. So we've got the Porsche. 5 cars in a row. And it looks like what's going on here. I think Chris is making a move on Dan. He is that Ford GTs. We know he's a rocket ship and there's a battle going on. Look, they're 3 wide as they go into Matt's on the outside. They're going to turn 2, but they all managed to avoid each other. So that was good races. So down the hill they come. Carly is third. Matt is fourth. He's got Chris alongside him. So look at this, Matt and Chris going alongside each other. Again, look at that, good racing. Chris gives room as they go into the hairpin. Is Chris going to try and get through? He does, but I think he doesn't. Eduardo bundles them wide, but he's redressed. That's good. Now we've got Mike is getting interested, and he's got Alex right behind him, and it looks like Alex is going to try and make a move on Mike. That's dangerous to try and pass there. We've seen plenty of accidents there, but it's, oh no, Eduardo's gone. What's happened there? Let's have a look. He just, let's see, did he, oh yeah, he just got it a little bit on the dirt going through that corner, and the tail end has gone. That tail end, yeah, it's very easily done in the Ferrari. It's quite skittish. So look at this. So in the meantime, Andy has come through all the carnage and has now got quite a nice lead. Look at that. In fact, you can't even see second. So Carly is in second, and we've got Chris is third, but he's having to defend against Dan. Dan on the softs, trying to use that extra grip. Then we've got Matt is in fifth. He's got the Ford right behind him. And we know how quick that Ford is. A on the straight line and B with Chris driving it. But we've got this battle here going on, so we go through the tunnel into the chicane. Chris and Carly have a little bit of a knock. And then we've got Matt now who's going to try and get, let's go on board. Let's try and get on board with Matt Street and see what Carly is going on. So right, we've got right behind us, we've got the Ford. And Chris is going to try, surely not try through the tunnel. So watch it on mirror, you can see it. So watching from the Ford GT. I think we're just going to drive straight past the Chevy, even though Chevy's in the tow. So is Matt going to try and make a move on the inside of his teammate as they go into turn 2? He does. I think that defender managed to keep him safe from the Ferrari, from the Ford. Bit of the old car science manoeuvre of using a bit of DRS there. So Matt is now up to 4th. Carly is in 5th with Chris right behind. And then we've got the Lambo not far behind there as well. So into T4 we go. Guys going to try and go around the other side of Matt in the Chevy, but goes a bit wide. That's it. Oh no, looks like we've lost the Lambo coming down the hill. So Daz is up to 8th. Let's see what's going on here. Chris now is still right behind the Chevy of Matt. And we got a battle now going on between us. So Andy's actually lost a lot of his lead. He did fastest lap on that first lap. Must have made a small mistake. He's now got Dan all over the back of him, and Chris is getting involved as well as these 3 stars squabbling. That will let Matt and Chris catch up. See how close the field are. So Chris is now up to 2nd, but does a little pit tap on the wall, and now looks like Dan is going for the lead. Look at this, you can see, what is it, the top 7 or 8, and Dan's going to make a move down the inside as we go into the long turn 14. He's got him. They come through, but Andy's trying to fight it. Chris is trying to go around the outside of the chicane. There's no room there. Gives him a bit of a tap, and look at this. And Matt is getting involved as well. Matt gets pushed wide, and Chris has just snuck up the inside and taken 4th. But I think he touched the wall there. So up the hill we go. Dan has managed to pull a nice lead already. And as we go up the hill, Chris in the Aston is right behind, and we've got the Ford GT just getting a colossal run. Look at that, he's just gone straight past the pair of them. Incredible. And then Chris is trying to get past Andy. That Ford GT has some top end. So Chris is now up to 3rd, and he's just left him behind. So right, I'm going to let you lot squabble, I'm just going to carry on. Matt is still in 5th. And we've got Carly's now catching back up again as we go into the hairpin, turn 6 actually officially. Little's GP defending. I think once he gets onto the straight, he's already gone purple. Look at that. He's not too far behind Dan, so we're 6 minutes into the race, and I think the top 6 or 7, maybe even Daz. Yeah, look at how close they all are. They're all very, very close. Right, so Dan's pulled a little bit of a gap. What's going on? Andy and Matt having a little bit of a battle now for 4th place. Can Andy get back on terms with Chris? They come across the bridge, and it looks like in the background Mike is attacking the Porsche as well. We go across the bridge. Let's have a look. So Chris and right, yes, Chris was in second. Chris has got past him. Did we see that? Yeah, we did. Right, so through the chicane for the 4th time. Chris and the Aston. We're going to try and keep up with tyres here. So Dan is going to come across and lead us through a lap 4. Also saying great racing beats Formula 1. Well, the last couple of races have been brilliant. Right, so Dan, across the line in 1st. Chris is in 2nd. Getting his toe. Chris is 49.1. And then we've got a battle here. Looks like Matt is attacking Andy again. Some good racing going on between these two. Can the Audi hang it around the outside? He does. Side by side they go down the hill. Let's go on board with Matt. Good clean racing between these two. Matt's on the mediums. So is Andy. Andy defends the inside. They go in 2 turn 6. Runs a little bit wide. Can Matt get the jump on him? I'm not sure. Where is the Chevy? There he is. So a good battle between these two. Gets a little bit wayward. Is Matt going to try another move down the inside? He does, but I think Andy's probably got enough on the inside. He has. So look at these two having a very fine scrap. But in the meantime, he's letting Chris in front pull away as they squabble over 4th. Let's just see what else is going on behind. Any other very close battles? No, we'll quickly flick through. Alright, let's stick with this battle then for 4th. Although it looks like Little's GP is not far behind Dan, he's not. So, is Matt going to have a move as they go across the bridge? Or he's going to shape up, look for the inside, but no, Andy shuts the door. There's a lot of corners on this track where the natural racing line is a wide entry, and it tends to invite some carnage because people think that the driver in front is going wide, where in actual fact they're not. Right, let's have a look behind. So Daz is now catching the McLaren. So Daz in the Nissan, which is a pretty strong car. It's good on the straights, it's good on his fuel, and it's very good on his tyres. It's Matt in them. Right, so Matt is looking like he's shaping up to have a go, and is he leaves it very late as he goes into turn 2, but goes a bit wide. If that goes very wide, takes Andy with him, but lets him go back past. And I think gives him a little flash to say, I'm sorry about that, I just missed the braking point. So as we come down the hill, Mike and Daz are still squabbling a little bit as well, and up at front, so we've got now a battle between Dan and Chris. Dan has been caught, his softs are starting to go, Chris's mediums are looking a fair bit better. Where can that Ford pass? I imagine he's probably just going to wait until either the bridge over between turn 13 and 14, or he'll wait for the main straight. So Dan doing a good job though in the Mitsubishi, keeping that Ford behind him. As soon as I say that, unfortunately he goes wide and goes off. So where's he going to come back on? Just in front of 4th place. So that's unfortunate for Dan. He went very wide coming out of, what would have been, turn 12. Unfortunately just got on the dirt. This place is seriously unforgiving. So Dan is now down to 3rd. And he's probably got all sorts of American rubbish on his tyres. Good soil, a big cert, so it'll take a few corners for him to get his tyres cleaned up again. So Andy has managed to get a little bit of 3 from Matt, and then if we go a bit further back, Carly's doing a good job in 6th, and then the PD shuffling Daz, still trying to get on terms with McLaren. Right, so we are 6 laps into our 18 lap race, further the way through. Right, so, oh, Chris has got the lead. Right, let's go back, we're going to need to watch that. All that carnage going on. So Chris, oh, of course we saw that. Right, don't need to do that, we saw it, Dan went wide. Right, so over the line we go. Further the race done. Let's have a little bit of a check of tyres and how people are doing on fuel. So Chris is on his mediums, just under half a tank. The other Chris is up to 2nd now. He's also in his mediums, just under half a tank. Dan is on soft, starting to wilt them a bit, but not that bad relative to the mediums in front of him. He's on just under half. Andy is mediums, looking pretty reasonable, just under half. Matt is looking probably the best out of the top 5, certainly. Is he going to make a move? And oh, Andy's trying to make a dive down the inside of Dan. That looked a little bit late. That looked a little bit late, but he's carrying on. So Andy gets up to 3rd, goes past Dan. Matt is in 5th. Then we got Carly doing a good job in 6th. So medium's looking not too bad on the Porsche. The rears are going a bit, but not too bad. Then Mike doing his usual fine job in the McLaren. His mediums look like they've barely been run in. And he's got half a tank. Daz's mediums don't look too bad either in the Nissan. The Lambo is beginning to chew its rears. Alex is in 9th. Eduardo is in 10th, just on his fastest lap for him at 50.8. And then James is in 11th. And Wayne still doing a good job. And we'll move on Wayne because he's gone off. Right, so Chris has just done 49.0. So in the low 49s, no one's close. Actually, they're saying that. Chris has just done a 49.1 as well. So Aston is showing some decent pace there. When will these guys pull the trigger? Not yet. As you can see, it's starting to get dark now as the sun sets. And he's still holding 3rd. He's got Dan right behind him. And we got, so it looks a bit of a battle here between Carly, Mike, and Dan's trying to make a move on the Audi. Does a nice move from Dan, but Andy gets the switchback. So it's a nice battling going on here. Then behind we've got Daz has got past McLaren. He has. So Daz moves up to 7th. Let's have a look down the hill. It's really close. It looks like Danny's now under attack from Matt. Defends the inside. Gets his stop nicely on the apex. There's nowhere way through there for Matt, but it looks like Matt has got the overcut. He's going to come around the outside as they go into this tricky turn 8, 7 and 8. Gives each other room. Look at that. Didn't force the issue. So let's go let Andy move out a bit as Matt tries to go down the inside of Dan. No. So what's going on behind us? So you can see we're 8 laps in. We've still got tremendous racing going on. Well, it looks like Matt was going to try and make a move there as we go into, I'll get my corners eventually, turn at 12. No, it's not turn 12. Yes, it is. And 13. Oh, let's go on board with Matt. Can he get a move done into the long-term 14? Let's go roof cam from the Mitsubishi. That starts to look down the inside. He's going to make a move. Oh, that looked a bit tight, but Matt backs out of it. In the meantime, looking back, we've got these 3 squabbling as well, and Alex is starting to catch them with 50.5, whereas actually Mike did it his fastest, and so did Daz. Daz is in the 49s now. Little's GP in the meantime has just done a 48.4. That backs up with a 48.8, whereas Chris did a 50.3, a 51.1. So Chris is starting to extend the lead now. Andy's coming in. So he's decided he wants to get rid of those mediums. Let's see what he does. Put some fuel in. Needs the first to stop. And we've got a battle here. So Carly, Matt, look at Matt is still attacking Dan as they come down the hill. And we've got a battle down the hill as well between Daz and so we'll try and keep an eye on both. Is Matt going to attack Dan? Doesn't look like it. Dan keeps it tidy. And Carly and Daz. Carly defends the inside as well, so look at this. We've got some cracking scraps going on. Matt is still trying everything he can to get past Dan. Carly is still defending with all her might. So CMS, one's attacking, racing, one's attacking and one's defending. Daz goes a little bit wide. Is that going to give Mike a bit of a switch? I think he does. Give each other room, that's good. Let's see what Daz can see. There's McLaren. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Mike gets it done. We won't stay on board too much with Daz because it makes it a little bit decent. Right, so Mike now up to 6th. He's a little stealthy running the McLaren up front. Looks like Matt is trying to get on Dan. Can he get this one to stick? No, he can't. And all the while, this is letting Chris escape quite nicely. He's got quite a decent lead now over 3rd and 4th. And then behind we go. Carly is in the Porsche. Has now got a little bit of a gap appeared. The guys behind him. Chris is still going, so Chris goes into lap 10. So does the other Chris. So it's Chris 1-2 at the moment. Back into the low 50s. So Dan and Matt are coming in together. Look at that. So Dan's getting rid of his softs. As we know, Matt can only go on the mediums. But Matt has got a chunk more fuel than both Dan and Alex, who's also in. So who's going to get out first between these two? Dan came in slightly ahead, but I think Matt's going to get the jump. He does. He's rolling. He used less fuel, therefore he has to put less fuel in. And again, the Chevy, its fuel economy gaining in some places. So Matt is already, you can see the gap there. They weren't nose to tail. Matt has now got probably what, a 3-4 second lead. And Dan has come out in front of Andy. So Andy, that early stop, has been jumped by both Matt and Dan. That early stop, he had to put a lot of fuel in. I think that's cost him. So Matt is now up to 7th. Let's go up back to the front again. So Chris now extended his lead. He's half a straight ahead of Chris now. Carly is now up to 3rd. And looks like fuel-wise can keep going for a while, but that rear left is looking a little bit gnarly, as we like to say. So I imagine that Carly's going to be in this lap. Mike can go on for another 10 or 20 laps by the looks of it. He's got a quarter of a tank of fuel and he's hardly touched his tyres, so that is going to be useful for when he does come in, because he won't need anywhere near the amount of fuel of the drivers around him. So there's Daz. His fuel's looking pretty good as well, but his tyres are going, but I think they'll just choose the best time to stop for softs. Basically, however long they think they can get the softs to last. If I was Mike, I'd go in now. And they are. All 3 of them are in now. So Carly's only got 11 things of fuel. I think it's percent. Or it might be litres. I'm never sure. Whereas Mike's got 23 and Daz has got 19. So we would expect Mike to come out a little bit in front of Daz. And then quite a big gap to Carly, who's going to need more fuel. James is in as well. And then we can see James's livery in all its glory. Very nice it is too. Everyone's doing super jobs on their liveries. So let's have a look. So as we thought, Mike has come out first, followed by Daz, and then the Porsche. So Andy and Daz have dropped. Sorry, Mike and Daz have overtaken Carly, and it looks like Mike has also got the drop on the Audi. So what can the Audi do? They come down the hill. Mike's got softs on, Andy's got mediums. So from that early pit stop, I think Andy had no choice but to put the mediums on, whereas Mike has now got softs. What about Daz? Daz has got softs as well, so they think they can get those comfortably to the end. Carly's got softs as well. And what's Alex? Alex is on the tail. He's on mediums, so he's decided to go mediums on this stint. Wayne still doing a good job. Not that far ahead of James, so we've got a little battle going on here at 10th, and it looks like we've lost Eduardo. So battling for 10th. Battle's always down the field. There's always someone to race in DTCC. That's what's good about it. Right. To the front we go. Ford is in. Green and yellow Ford GT. And so is the Aston of Chris in second. So Carly's saying the fuel percent. Thank you. I'll remember that one day. Right, so let's watch what Chris is going to have to fuel less. Where's Matt? Matt is just coming up the hill now. Chris is just coming out. So Matt looks like he might get the jump on Chris. Let's have a look. Where's Chris? There he goes. So Matt has got him. So Matt has got himself up to second. That's slightly early stop, but with using the fresh mediums, Matt has managed to claw that gap to second and take it. Matt just did a 49.1, which was his fastest by quite a long way. Not quite on Little GP's timing, but nevertheless, just his quickest, and that super quick out lap and hot lap has put him into second. So, but he's on mediums and Chris is on softs. I can't see how Matt can defend that for the rest of the race. We've got another 7 laps to go yet. So Matt is on the medium, the slower compound, with a bit less fuel though, and Chris is on soft. So see how that goes. So Danny's now in 4th. He looks like he's got a little bit of a gap. He's on softs. And Mike is on soft, so we'll see how the tyre wear plays out. They've still got 6.5 laps to get through with softs on, so we've seen how good Mike is on his tyres. Will he be able to catch the Mitsubishi if the Mitsubishi goes through his tyres? Andy's now down to 6th. He's on the mediums though, and Daz is on soft, so we'll keep an eye on that gap. In theory, Daz has got less fuel and better tyres, so we'll see how that shakes out. Carly is now in 8th and has got the attentions of Alex. Carly on the softs, whereas Alex is on the mediums, but it looks like Alex might have a bit of a run as they come up the hill. Let's go on board with the Lambo. Be careful of that inside curve, they can spit you off. Roof cam of the Porsche, we look through the back wing. Is that Lambo you can't see the headlights now, the ducks out of the toe. But it looks like the Porsche is a bit later on the brakes. Defends the inside nicely. Nothing doing there for the Lambo. There's a road cone in the middle of the track. You come down the hill and you can see how pretty it is when the sun starts to set. No way through here, a little bit of a lift there for the Lambo. Can he make a move into turn 6? Carly defends the inside. Nothing doing there. So nice driving by the pair of them. Let's have a look at this battle for third. So Matt's still holding on to third. Sorry, battle for second. Matt is still holding on. You can see his right, left is already starting to look a bit worn, and Chris is soft looking beautiful. He's all over the back of that Chevy. He's got the grip advantage. Can he do anything about the second in the championship? Matt feels the need to defend the inside for the long turn 14. Chris is looking like he's going to try and go around the outside. Nothing there. It's quite, you've got to be really committed to go around the outside there. This is probably the key corner. You've got to get a good run out there. It looks like Matt has got a little bit of advantage. The Chevy's obviously good at getting his power down. We can say it may not look like it, but the Porsches would not behave for me at this track was fighting the whole race. Well, you're certainly doing a decent job. You've got Alex right behind you there. Right, let's just see if there's anything else. Dan, Mike, Daz, bit of a gap there. Andy, so a little bit spread out now, these guys. So it looks like the other fight on the track is between Carly's Porsche, the handful, there's the Porsche, and Alex. So is Alex going to get another run as we go up the hill? I think he's squabbling and slowing them both down. Carly again defends the inside. We're going into turn 2. And they come down the hill. So let's go to this battle for second. Still raging. Matt's on the PB. Matt takes a very wide line there, and that invites Chris to think he might be able to dart up the inside. We've seen that ends in tears whenever that happens. But nothing yet. Matt is probably hoping that Chris starts to run out of tyres. See though, that Aston's obviously Chris and the Aston are pretty good on their tyres. So battle for second still raging. Dan is reasonably comfortable fourth. He hasn't got a huge gap to Mike, but he's doing 49s. Pretty similar to Mike. There's a little flash there. I don't know what that was for. But Mike's in the 48s now. Chris has done a 48.0. I think Mike is the only other driver in the 48s. Just how dominant Chris is here. He's miles in front. So Mike is in 5th. Daz is in 6th. He's got Andy not that far behind him. Andy obviously had a bit of a drama that lap. He did a 54. Mind you, Daz isn't that far in front of him. So Daz, I think Daz has got past him, hasn't he? So Andy obviously made a bit of a mistake there. Then we've got the battling pair for 8th. It's a bit like we had us early in the race. This time both CMS racing drivers are defending. It looks like Alex is going to get a run this time. They come alongside each other. They come across the line for the 14th time. Into 15. Alex is on the inside. We go into turn 1, but Carly's really brave on the brakes. He's going to try and go round the outside. But it looks like, I think there, Lambo's got it. A little flash there. I don't know if that was a good move or that was a little bit of a nudge. So down the hill they go. So Alex is now up to 8th. Look at that shot. That is such a beautiful shot. You can see the ocean. Look at that. Beautiful shot of the Pacific. Right. Let's see what's going on for second. Matt is still there. He's just done his PB of a 48.5. So Matt has gone, I think, probably second quickest then, the lap of the race. Gets really close to the wall coming out. He's really trying to maximise everything he can. Coming out of turn 13. But Chris's tyres are starting to go, but they're still in better shape than the medium. So that is a consequence of Chris's late stop. His softs are still looking good. They're looking better than Matt's medium. So Dan is still in 4th. He's in the 49s. It looks like he might be, yeah. Mike is in the 48 still. High 48. So Mike is catching Dan by about 3 or 4 tenths on that last lap. Let's see what they get this time. So we're on lap 15, so 3 more laps to go. Dan does a 50.2, Mike does a 49.9, so again 2 or 3 tenths between them. Daz has done a 50.2 as well, so 4th, 5th and 6th all pretty similar. And he's starting to go through his tyres a little bit. He's a left rear looking a little bit second hand, so he's in the high 50s. Alex is actually catching him, so Alex has done 50.5 and 49.6. So he's taking between roughly half a second to almost a second out of 7th. I'm keeping an eye on that. I also had a little bit of a drama on that lap. What's going on in the battle for 10th? James is starting to into the 49s. He's done a 50.3 the last lap. And Wayne, picking up the pace, has done 50.1. But he is quite a long way behind James. So Wayne is just treating this one like a bit like a extended test session. Mika saying unintentional flash, but I knew AJ got the better of me. Yeah, figured as much. I look pretty clean. Right, so out in front, Chris is now showing off. He's just done a 48.044, the fastest lap of the race. So he comes across the line very shortly to finish lap 16. And look at this. So we are still seeing a battle for second. Matt is still hanging on to it. Chris's tyres are starting to go, but he's still got Matt's front left is not looking good at all. So can Matt, he's managed to hang on for what, 5 laps? Can he hang on for another 2? Pretty tall order, but we'll see if he can. So Chris is now dropped a little bit behind as he used the best of those tyres in attack. Can he come back? Quick squeeze through. So we've got a bit of a battle here, and as we said, Dan is being coy. He did a 49.8, so he's still lapping pretty consistently. Whereas Mike did a 49.3, so another half a second. And then Daz 52, so he had a bit of a slower lap there, and that's allowed Andy to get his back on him. So Andy's catching up as well. So we've got some nice battles developing here. Let's go to the battle for second. So it's still going. You can see Chris is now starting to catch back up again. So I think he might have just backed off. Maybe let his tyres cool down a bit. And then I'll try attack again. That's a bit wide there though. GP's now 47.5, so it's just going faster and faster. We can see the gap. So Chris goes through the chicane. Matt and Chris are coming across the bridge. Let's have a look. Dan and Mike. Looks like Mike's dropped off a little bit there. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, 1.6 down the split, so this track is very easy to make mistakes. Looks like Andy is catching still. Got Alex in 8th, Colin in 9th, James in 10th, and Wayne is doing his now PB, getting quicker, up to 50.7. Chris had a little bit of a, there we go, he is human, he did a 50.0, which is still no slower than second, but you see Matt's tyres, look at the difference in tyre deck. Chris came in later, his fuel started to flash, but his tyres are looking great compared to Matt's. Front left is not looking great. He's got a bit of a gap though. He's got about 1.5 seconds. Can he hang on to that second place all the way through this last lap? What's Dan and Mike's up? Dan and Mike's got a similar gap. Daz and Andy, similar gap. So let's watch second place. Keep an eye with Chris. Alright, so Chris is just coming into turn 12. Right, battle for second then. This is probably the closest. Can Chris catch that Chevy? He's starting to reel him in. You can see the difference now. Both have got their fuel flashing lights, but that's okay. Can Chris mount a challenge in this last half a lap? He's really getting close. That gap was about 1.5 seconds into the last lap. He's in half a lap. He's taking it down to nothing. Can he get a move on Matt? Matt's squirming a bit under power as they go across the bridge for the last time. Is he going to try and make a move as they go into the long-term 14 round the outside? He's going to try it. Is he going to make that one stick? No, Matt covers the inside and covers the outside as well. Look at this racing between the pair of them. And it's only the chicane to go, and I think that's it. I think Matt has managed to do enough as Chris comes across the line. Dominant victory in the end. Beautifully done by Chris. It takes yet another win in the Group 3s. We come up the hill. Looks like Matt has done just enough to hang on. Front left looking pretty nasty, but he does it. Holds off second place, sweaty second I'm sure. So Matt gets second, Chris gets a really good fight in third. And Dan coming across the line in fourth. Good result there. Mike gets fifth in the McLaren. Here comes Daz in sixth. Good result from the back of the field. And he's coming across the line in seventh. Andy. Here comes Alex in 8th, and through the tunnel comes the Porsche Carly. Almost out of tyres, fuel. And here comes James, also got into the 49s, persevered, gets 10th place, and you get points by finishing, so they all count. And here comes Wayne. Let's watch the beautiful scenery of Grand Valley Highway. Wayne comes into one of the numerous tyre killers of this track. There's lots of long radius corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I count 7. So it's hard on its tyres. So Wayne comes through the tunnel. To finish 11th in his Muddy Fox liveried Jag. And there we go. So across the line comes Wayne. Look at that. Right, so Chris takes a dominant win. Let's try and get a better view. There we go, that's better. In the 4GT, I've lost count how many Group 3s he's won. Another dominant win, so well done to Chris. And Matt gets second, consolidates his second in the championship. A cracking battle with Chris, very fair and evenly fought battle between those two. Then Chris gets a good third, which I think goes with his podium in Group 3. So good night overall for Chris in the Aston. Dan gets fourth. So a good result for him. His battle for fifth in the championship with Carly. Mike finishes fifth, so a good night for him as well in his battle for third with Alex. He had a win in the fifth. Daz gets sixth in the Nissan, didn't finish the first race. Andy gets seventh in the Audi. Alex fights back to get eighth in the Lambo. Carly is ninth in the Porsche. James is 10th in the Genesis, and then Wayne finishes 11th. So there we have it. That was round 6 even, sorry, of season 7 of the DTCC. Hope you enjoyed that on a Friday night. My site says Super Racing, thanks for comms. Welcome, it's always a pleasure to do this. We will see you for round 7, which is the Blue Moon Bay Oval round, which is always a fantastic racing. We did that on Wednesday, so I will do that hopefully before next Wednesday, because then we've got the last race of the season, which is Super Formula at Suzuka. So the Japanese single-seater, which is quite leery around one of the hardest tracks in the game. So that should be interesting. So there you have it. There's your winner, Chris. Consolidates his lead in the championship. And we will see you next time for some NASCAR oval racing. Hope you have a good weekend. We'll catch you later.